couple of weeks ago, I noticed that every time I looked in my cabinet behind me here, this display cabinet, that it was this beautiful mother of pearl shell that caught my attention. I love the colors, the opalescent kind of reflections in it, and it started to remind me of some of the other shells and objects that I have that have that same kind of beautiful opalescence to them. My pearls of great price, as it were. Um, and so, as you can imagine, when I started to think about creating a new contemplative garden, it was this beautiful shell that came to my mind. And I decided that what I wanted to create was a contemplative garden of objects that I consider pearls of great price, that I find in unexpected but ordinary places of my life.
So here's the garden that I put together. First of all, I got this beautiful punch bowl that was given to me a number of years ago, but I have never used. And it has been, in many ways, a hidden pearl of great price in a dark cupboard in my under our stairs. And then I put in it some little colored glass pebbles, as it were. And then on top of that, I have got the mother of pearl shell. And then I've got another little goblet on top here that has a mother, oh, not mother of pearl, a string of pearl, a succulent hanging down from it, one of my favorite succulents. And then I've got a, a set of pearls that I've again had for many years that unfortunately are broken, but again, a real sense of pearls of great price because there's something that I love but that I can't use anymore.
And when I created this, I wasn't really sure why I wanted to create this garden. It didn't really seem to have any significance in terms of the liturgical cycle of the year or in the cycle of the natural seasons either. Then I thought about the discernment process that I'd been going through, and I realized that it really does have quite a lot of um, that in that context it has a lot of significance. I'm sorry there. And so three questions surfaced for me as I look at my garden. What have I sold or given up for Jesus, my real pearl of great price? And what is the field that I've bought because I thought there was treasure hidden in it? And thirdly, what have I found in that field that really does qualify as a pearl of great price? And so here are some of the things that I've come up with. And I'm sure that over the next couple of weeks, I will probably come up with more ideas of things that I've both given up and things that I have gained because of the fact that I saw the fields that Jesus had prepared for me, fields of great price, or fields in which I thought there were treasures of great price, and then the delight of finding those. So, firstly, I gave up family and friends in Australia to travel the world, but gained family and friends throughout the world as a result, and have ended up as well with closeness to my biological family in a way that I never experienced otherwise. Secondly, I gave up a house in New Zealand that I thought was going to be my forever home and started on a life of what I would call of no fixed abode, where for many years I traveled without a real place to call home. But I did, in the process, find a place of belonging in God and eventually a home in Seattle that is more than I could ever have hoped for. Thirdly, I gave up the stability of medical practice in Australia and New Zealand and found instead a journey of vocational exploration that has been far richer than any I could ever imagine. I gave up the financial security of medical practice for a life of wandering with few resources and found in the process the amazing faithfulness of God to provide in abundance for my needs. Fifthly, I gave up a life of rigid certainty and clear boundaries for one of uncertainty with creative openness, where the boundaries of life and faith were shattered and redefined. In the process, I discovered the treasure of the joy and delight of growing intimacy with a God who has no boundaries at all. So, as I contemplate this list today, I am overwhelmed with awe for all that I have gained because of my willingness to sell what I once thought of great value, to buy instead a relationship with Jesus, who has become not just my Savior, but also my very special companion and friend. The treasures that God hid in the fields I bought on my journey through life have been rich and varied, not just pearls, I feel, but also diamonds, sapphires, opals, and many other things that are valuable to me alone. Some also precious stones are still partly buried in the fields that I think lie ahead of me, or the field in a way that I'm already in. And I'm excited to think of the pearls of great price that I will continue to discover as my life continues. So, what is your response? Take some time this week to think about the pearls of great price that you have dug up in order throughout your life. What have you had to give up in order to buy the fields in which they were hidden? What did these pearls of great price look like? And why are they precious to you? What have they taught you about God and what it means to be a follower of Jesus? Often the pearls of great price that are valuable to us and that are treasures to us may not be treasures to somebody else. And often they are treasures that exist in a field that is literally littered with things, with objects that may not be treasures to me, but could become treasures to somebody else as well. So this is an exciting kind of experience to look at, and I'm really looking forward to the further lessons that my beautiful mother of pearl shell and my treasure, my pearl of great price contemplative garden continues to teach me.